Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Another walk and talk video. Forgive the wind today. It's gonna be bone chilling. We're supposed to get a snow squall in my area, and it's supposed to dump a whole ton of snow, they're saying, but whether that happens or not nobody knows. But they're expecting a ton of snow to drop, so definitely gonna get my walk and talks in with you guys while the paths are clear of snow and ice. So big news, guys, big news. Boris Johnson, Tory party in the UK have announced they're gonna drop everything COVID. No masks, no jabs, no passports, no nothing. And the reason they say they're doing it is completely political. They are trending that that party will be destroyed because of their policies, and I'm all for it. I would say, I'd even go further, any politician out there, whether it's in the UK, Canada, or the United States, who went along with this shit should be basically barred from running again, ever, and immediately reported to the nearest prison. That would be the best case scenario. And we also have in Canada, the truckers are doing a massive slow roll protest to Ottawa. Massive fleet of truckers, and there's a lot of people out there supporting them, handing them signs, free slices of pizza, coffee, donuts, whatever, as they slow roll protest the government here in Canada for making it so only the vax can cross the border, which is only gonna, like I said in previous videos, only gonna dominate and devastate the inflation prices here, the stock, the available stock. Where do you guys think the stock comes from? Doesn't just appear. The truckers are responsible for that. So there's a lot of bonehead moves, and it's crazy, guys. So I'll get back to you in a bit, talk more about it. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, bringing you another video today. If you've been watching my earlier videos, you can see in this jar here, it's been about a week since I've been soaking the medicine here in this solvent in that big mason jar. And if you guys know what the medicine is, I'm sure by now. That's what I refer to it online, because the censorship is real for sure. So just remember, when you're doing any of this stuff, make sure you have some disposable gloves of some kind, because you don't want it getting on your skin while doing all these steps, because you'll be flying higher than a kite after, if you just left it on your skin and work without gloves. It'd be not fun when you're trying to complete the objective. So I got some nice Dollar Tree disposable gloves here that I'm slowly getting my hands into, and the lid is off the mason jar, ready to go. Now I also have a screen that I bought, a fine mesh screen that will filter out all the plant material that will be going on the mason jar next. And here it is here. You can get these anywhere online, basically. It's really beneficial to have, because then you're not always running out looking for cheesecloth all the time. And this stuff is reusable, washable, excellent. And I'm just tightening up around the collar here It's not the greatest, so I always keep some pressure on with my fingers. And carefully, guys, get it into a stainless steel pan or glass pan of some kind is what I recommend. Either stainless or glass is best. And so you can see I'm just holding the collar just in case, because when I start really tilting, the majority of that material, botanicals, plant medicine, is going to hit that strainer, as you see here. And you want to get, as much as you can out of the jar, but there's always little lingering pieces, nothing to really worry about there, because after a week's time of soaking in your solvent, most of the medicine, or a good 98%, has transferred into the solvent. Unfortunately, we're limited for space here, so I had to do this on the floor. So I'm being very careful not to spill anything onto the rug. So guys, find a nice clean surface where you can work. I do not recommend doing it on the floor like I had to in this video. And so what I'm doing is carefully squeezing out the plant material, adding that pressure, that tension, to squeeze out all the juice, aka the solvent, from the plant material that's been soaking in it for a week. And you can see it pouring in there. Take your time doing this, guys, because basically at the end of this, if your wrists and fingers and hands do not hurt, then you probably weren't squeezing enough. It's one of these things where you want to keep rotating, squeezing at different intervals, different positions as best you can. I'm sure there's better methods with some type of mechanical press, but I don't have access to that, and I've been using this method since the beginning and had basically no issues. So just keep squeezing as much as you can, making sure not to lose any little drip that you can, because this is extremely valuable stuff. Not that I sell it at all, because that would be illegal, but this is for home use only. Medicinal medicine, grown at home, processed at home, and taken at home. So good stuff. Now after you're done with using this mesh bag, basically once you squeeze the life out of all the plant material, you're not getting any more little drips or liquid out of it. You want to discard that plant material. It's basically no good now, because everything has been stripped. All the medicinal value, any value, has basically been stripped from the plant material after that point. So you basically dump out the plant material, discard it, then make sure to discard the gloves, clean the bag immediately, wash the bag out and let it hang dry, and it will dry very quickly because the solvent is pure alcohol, ethanol, and it evaporates very quickly. It dries out. So that's one of the bonuses about it. Alright, so I basically have finished squeezing out all the goodness from the botanicals, and I'm off to discard them carefully and clean out my mesh bag, which is wonderful because I can reuse it until it falls apart on me. So this batch in this pan is now done, and I will be transferring it from this pan into smaller containers that you'll see in an upcoming video of how I'm going to process this even further down, because you can't really take it as is. You have to remove now the ethanol by boiling it and boiling it off, and what you will have left is your actual medicines or extract concentrate from your plant material, the medicine. And it's a very tedious, labor intensive, energy intensive, time intensive stuff to make this stuff. So it's best to learn how to do it now, practice, and basically stockpile this stuff for a rainy day if and when you need it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for more on this project, because there's going to be plenty more videos to come. That is for sure. So stay safe out there, guys, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Live daily content. Become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. So, we got some awesome breaking news here. A study was done, which I posted to the survival group on Facebook and on my main feed on Facebook, that they found out cannabinoids actually stop COVID-19 from even happening in people. And you guys know I'm big into RSO, making Rick Simpson oil or can of butter or whatever. There's all kinds of varieties you can make this stuff, but found out, hey, stuff stops COVID-19. They did 2 different studies, and there's still studies ongoing about this. So just another thing that RSO is good for. Now, I speculated that it would already protect you from it, and that's why I have been low dosing it daily, or actually nightly, before bed, because not only does it help you with arthritis, aches and pains, it helps you sleep, and it gets rid of any nasties in your system. You know, the usual suspects: cancer, other issues, dementia issues, anything like that, and now COVID-19. So hey, and then the study just came out kind of timely, because within the next couple days on my YouTube channel, I have a video called "My Arsenal Against COVID-19," and in that video I show basically everything I have, including the RSO. And it was kind of last in the video, but, well, in that video it's actually can of butter, but same difference, guys. It's just a different method of producing RSO. And so I was basically right all along, called it a long time ago, and hey, Rob's right again. Look at that. Now, of course, I don't know how far those studies are going to get, how many people are actually going to take them serious, because most people are already on the fence about cannabis anyways, so whatever, up to you. But I'd rather take some RSO and chill and relax than get all these jabs that you cannot reverse once you have them in your body, and they come along with a Bible list of side effects, and they're due to release 5,500 pages of the new edition of insane side effects and damages that have been already documented by the government and the doctors for this system that they want everybody to just march right in, get all these shots, and then find out later what they actually do to you. And they went as far as trying to cover it up by not releasing the side effects and the damage it's done for up to 77 years. But some judges are like, yeah, sorry, you're gonna release them all ASAP. So there was a little court battle. They had to go back and forth, but in the end the judges won, and they said, no, you're releasing everything, and the next few months will be very interesting when the data comes out. Now, does this tie in to the UK politicians completely doing a 180 and stopping all COVID-19 measures in that country? And will that trickle through over to Canada? Because, you know, we're kind of owned by the UK, the Queen. So normally Canada follows suit with a lot of stuff. If the States does something, we normally follow suit. If the UK does something, we normally follow suit. Canada is a bunch of followers as opposed to leaders. And you can really tell with how, you know, we got our numbnuts Trudeau in there running the show right now. Commie-phile, China-phile, disaster. So, interesting turn of events out there, guys. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. I recently just cleaned out my cousin's place with a bunch of other family members. We're going back on Friday to clean out the rest of the place, the garage. And then the place is pretty much cleaned out of all furniture and appliances by then. But there's massive cleaning that needs to be done. And then my aunts are the executives on the deal, and they have to figure out what they're doing with the house, selling it most likely, and then go from there. So, yeah, a lot going on. My cousin passed away. I don't think it was from Rona. He never did. Like, I've offered to give him for free RSO before. He never accepted, didn't want to try it. So that's the most people's response to it, because they don't believe it. It's too good to be true, right? Okay. So that's what we're dealing with. But from what it looked like that happened to him, basically he didn't take care of his health. And we've tried to intervene with that many times, but it's like talking to a wall, and it is what it is. I'm sure he would wanted to do what everybody just let him do what he wanted to do best, and that was live his best life, and that's what he did. Though it was kind of sad, because it was, you ever see the show Hoarders, guys? His place was basically like that, and it was not good. But he was never really taught how to clean or had the ambition to clean and stuff like that, so it was pretty sad situation. There wasn't really a way to communicate with them too well in that regard. Like I said, talking to a wall. You're just stuck in your ways type of thing, so is what it is. I saw some snowflakes. It's gonna try to snow. And we're supposed to get a whack ton of it, guys, with a snow squall today, so that's why I'm getting my walk and talks in. And depending on how bad the snow is, I think the clean out of the garage is a little bit up in the air at my cousin's for Friday, so we'll see. But a lot going on. I've been a busy boy. And then later at the end of this month, the lady that's buying the tiny house is going to come down, pay me the rest of the cash. It's all in cash. I'm going to give her the ownership, the keys. Then it's up to her to move it before April to wherever her new location is, and go from there. So yeah, is what it is. See you guys on the next one. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House bringing you another video. This is in my series of videos making medicine at home, and I'm sure if anybody knows what I'm referring to, they'll be fine. If not, go to my playlist, RSO Rick Simpson Oil. You'll find everything I'm talking about there. So recently just strained out the medicine in my last video, and now I'm going to carefully transfer it into a glass jar via this stainless steel funnel. And the reason for transferring it into this particular glass jar is this glass jar has a spout which gives you much more accurate control of when you're pouring liquid out of it. It goes where you want it to go, as opposed to the large pan that I'm currently transferring. And so what I actually did because of that is I have a glass casserole dish underneath the glass jar with the spout that I just transferred the liquid into. And that way, in case I have any spillage, it's caught, can be reused. And you see here I have a lot of leftovers. And on the right there is the large mason jar where all the magic happened, where I had the pound of medicine in there soaking for a week in pure ethanol. And that's basically what I'm transferring now. So here we have a Pyrex glass measuring cup with also a spout on it, where we can transfer liquid a lot easier. And my first mistake here was I didn't add the coffee filters on in the stainless steel funnel, so I will redo this and put the coffee filters in place. It's because there's little particles that still get caught up in the process, and you want to get rid of as much large particles as you can. In the back there you can see swinging momentarily in the center is the strainer that I used, the mesh strainer, reusable, and it's just air drying above the laundry tub. And here I'm just pouring that liquid back into the main jar, because I realized, oh, we have some particles that still have to be strained out, and always recommend using coffee filters. So they're sitting in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, the white ones. You can just use these plain ones, or if you really are particular, you can get the unbleached version, which are brown in color. But you know, is what it is, whatever you guys prefer. So I'm just rinsing out the measuring cup here again, and this time I'm going to properly put the funnel in with the coffee filters. That way we're good to go. Just wiping out any excess water. If you leave a little bit of water in there, it's not a big deal. It will end up boiling off in later videos in the process, so it's not too big of a problem. So here we go. Start over again. Put the stainless steel funnel in the measuring cup. Here I'm putting 2 coffee filters in. You can do 1 or 2 at most. That's no biggie there. And then carefully, using the spout as better control, get it going inside the measuring cup. And as you can see, I'm having some drippage going on, so that is why I have the glass casserole dish just below everything to catch any spillage, because that medicine can then be recovered later on, which I will show in future videos coming up in this series of videos. And here we go. So it's starting to strain through the coffee filters and down into the container of the measuring cup. And you don't want to fill it up too much in the top portion of the funnel, I mean with the coffee filters, because you can go over top of it if you pour in too much at one time, because it is kind of a slow process as it trickles through the paper product. And here I got it on a time lapse, which is a little bit cooler to show you how slow a process this does take to transfer the concentrate. Now here, this is my special machine that I use to help get the ethanol back and recover it. And so I'm going to pour that measuring cup in and then continue to fill the measuring cup with more filtered concentrate. Alrighty guys, and we're back, and so this part of the process, I didn't show the machine process basically, because can't really show that online, unfortunately. But basically I recaptured a good portion of the ethanol, and what's remaining is a more concentrate, so I don't have to boil off a whole ton of stuff. Now you can see there's a little bit of sticky remnants in the bottom of that. I'm going to show you later on in the next video how to recapture that so nothing goes to waste. and shortly I'll show you the measuring cup amount that we have gotten it down to. So there it is there. We have just about that amount out of another concentrate of a concentrate for making the medicine. Now I did a little spilling there. Paper towels are always awesome to have on hand. Very useful to clean up. Though you do not want to spill too much. And I really didn't spill that much. It wasn't too bad. A few drips here and there when using the large machine cylinder here to transfer back into the measuring cup. But stick around, stay tuned in this series of videos, this project, and we'll show you how to remove the leftovers inside the machine here. And then we'll show you the next steps on processing the medicine further and further. Many steps in order to do it, to get the end result product, but it's a very powerful medicinal product for sure. And there it is, guys. And then we'll be showing how to work this even further in the next series of videos, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed. Live daily content, become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you. Hey guys, we're back. Another breaking news story. WHO, World Health Organization, put out a little statement, and they have now flip-flopped on treatment for kids to get the you-know-what jabs, COVID-19 jabs. Totally flip-flopped, and now said it's actually more dangerous for them to receive these things than get the COVID-19. Be back in a second. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, bringing you another video. This is in the series of making the medicine, and in my last video you could see that we had a little leftovers kind of stuck to the bottom, not burned in or anything, but stuck to the bottom of my machine. So I just added some organic coconut oil that's been liquefied, simmering on the stove top there. And basically what I'm doing is just moving the simmered coconut oil around into the bottom of the machine, just to start breaking it up. Now coconut oil and this medicinal oil will go really well together. The coconut oil is what you call a carrier oil, so it will actually pick up the medicinal oil that you're producing from the plant and combine it with the coconut oil very easily. So I'm going to add some more heated coconut oil, because it definitely does need some more. And we're going to continue to agitate and stir in the bottom of the machine to give it time to combine the two oils together. And this way you're cleaning your machines and your containers and not losing any of the medicinal medicine at the same time. So everything will be used, nothing really goes to waste, or very little will go to waste. And it's a little bit of a patient process to do so, but it's definitely worth it in the end for sure, because you're recouping the medicine that's left over, and you can't really complain about that, because you're not just washing it away and scrubbing it away and letting it go to waste. You're actually recovering it. So this process takes a little bit, and eventually I start to agitate it. See here, you can see here's a good picture now of it starting to really break down and get a good majority off the bottom of there as it combines. But it's all about agitation and temperature. You want your coconut oil to be simmered, have it fairly warm, and that will help break and join the two oils together. And that's all I'm doing is stirring around at this point. Now later on, you can see here that it's basically cleared off the entire inside of the machine. And now, you guys remember, we gotta capture some of the medicine that's on my containers here, the 2 glass containers. So what we then now do is take that warm coconut oil that we used to recover the medicine off this machine and pour it into these containers to get even more of the leftover medicine that you can see here on the glass. So first we'll do the glass container here, or the Kool-Aid jar as I like to refer it to, because it does look like the Kool-Aid guy. Get every little drip I can out of the machine here. And then basically the inside of that machine you can just wipe off with a paper towel, and it will basically clean off that machine very good. Now here again, I'm just stirring the inside of this glass, and it's picking up all the leftover medicine from on the glass itself, and transferring it into that liquid. It's basically oil, so coconut oil and RSO combined. And now I'm going to pour some on the glass dish down here, to get the little bit that's sitting on the glass dish down in the bottom there, getting little drips. And I'm working it in on that little glass casserole dish to grab up the little medicine that's been left over during the spillage. And this one's a little bit more stubborn, so what I ended up doing was I busted out the disposable plastic gloves again, and just to agitate the oil to the glass a little bit easier, because it's hard to do on a flat surface with this casserole dish. So here I added some more simmering coconut oil to really help with the extraction off the casserole dish. Needed to get the temperature back up again to really help break it off, and I'm using the disposable glove to help agitate without getting it on me, because you don't want to really get it on your skin during all these steps in the process, because you don't want to be halfway through your creation and then you're high as a kite, so it makes things a little bit difficult. So you want to protect yourself so you can get your, the finished product done before flying too high. So from there, I just pour the dish back into the jar here. And voila, that's about as good as I want to get at recovery Got a good decent amount in there. That's a good concentrate. And so later we're going to transfer that into some more user-friendly containers that you'll be seeing here shortly. So we'll use the jar and transfer them into some nice user-friendly containers, which will be nice. Now, luckily, I'm pretty good at this, so I didn't get anything on the carpet or the bed or anything like that. So here we go, guys. I transferred them into these little plastic containers. And here we have the main concentrate of all the medicine in in a pot of water on the induction cooktop, and it's just on a simmer. And I'm just slowly removing any of the ethanol over time. There'll be more on this in later videos, so stay tuned. See all my live daily content. Become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. So back to it. WHO now recanting their treatments for young children. That, along with the recent news, UK, Boris Johnson and his party totally want to ditch all the COVID-19 measures, all of them, even the passports and the masks. So, a coincidence, guys? And don't forget the document dump that's going to be happening later this month, or next month actually. 5,500 pages of the damage and side effects so far from all these jabs worldwide, or in North America anyways. And oh boy, you can start seeing the dots show up. Is this coincidence, or is this a connect the dot type of situation where all these things connect and make an ugly big picture that we're gonna find out shortly about? So now, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional. However, it seems I'm, sticking to my guns here. This whole thing has been one big giant joke on the public and a giant IQ test. And whoever received the COVID-19 jabs probably failed the test. It's looking like, okay? Especially when you guys see the mountains of documents that are going to come out on the monthly. The judges went after this company and said, look, you're gonna report everything. You're not waiting those 77 years to release what this stuff does. And it only makes, it's common sense, guys. You sell a product on the market and you don't list the safety hazards and all this stuff, you're going to jail, and you're going to jail hard. Now, what happens when the government itself drinks the Kool-Aid and follows this nonsense and buys all these COVID-19 jabs? Well, it means the entire government has been suckered, but the government also cashed in at the same time with insider trading because they heavily invested in the vax companies. So they're getting kickbacks all day long in their investments with their push. Now, let's say the governments do a total reversal on the COVID-19 stuff. Well, they already made their money. Do you think they're going to prosecute anybody? The same government is going to prosecute their own? I doubt it. Will Fauci and these dudes see the inside of a jail cell? It's up in the air. But if the Dems lose, and lose big, midterms and the next one going forward, then holy shit, you better believe there's people going to be going to prison. And before they do, there's probably going to be mass firings at all these agencies that are supposed to protect us from this bull, and new people brought in to go over, investigate, and prosecute all these people for basically a genocide that's gone on. So basically, guys, Big Pharma has gotten so big that it's bigger than governments now, okay? And that's a lot of power. You make more than governments combined. Big Pharma does. And you wanted to, the only way to increase your profits really is to cook up something in a lab overseas, because there you can get away with it, and then let her rip and have a nice treatment on standby only months away to profit from. Okay? Now, I've heard it was a 20-fold plus increase on their investment in said virus they cooked up. Okay? 20+ fold increase or payback in their investment. And that's a quote from Mr. Billy Gates. And well, he said also, he quoted, best business he's ever been in, basically. Best return on investment in business ever. Of course. Now, how did they get away with this, guys? Well, that was easy when you have boneheads running the governments and not watching. It all started back with Obama, married to the tranny, Michael. And, oh man, it all started back then with him and Fauci. And, yeah. They even chopped this around to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon told them to go pound sand. And so they had to go overseas to do this stuff. Be back in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, bringing you another video in the project series, Making the Medicine. So here we're just simmering down any remaining ethanol from the concentrate. And it's sitting in a Pyrex measuring cup, which can take high heat. And basically the reasoning for that is it has a spout on it for transferring later on, which is fantastic. The Pyrex makes it so the glass won't break because it withstand high temperatures. And it has a wide mouth on it, so if I got to get in there and do anything, I can, but never really need to. In this process, it's pretty tedious. I can set the timer up to just let it slowly boil off. Now, it does take a little bit of time because water boils about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. That doesn't transfer, heat doesn't transfer through glass very well. So the max you're going to get transferring through is about 202 degrees Fahrenheit. which is fine, but you don't want to have any water sitting in there. That's why there is none inside the concentrate, because then it'll just sit there and not boil off. But the alcohol boils at 173 Fahrenheit, so it just slowly takes out the ethanol and goes from there. So I have a little temperature probe that I use to double check and verify internal temperatures at the bottom of the Pyrex. And you know, normally I had to set it at a little bit higher than normal to get the just past the 173 Fahrenheit mark, so I had to bump it up to like 600 watts on the induction cooktop. And you see it here, it's way too runny. See how that's way too runny here, guys? I just did this for video purposes only. See how that's way too liquidy? That means it's not done yet whatsoever. Alrighty guys, so we're just going to pour that right back into the Pyrex cup because it's way too liquidy. It's not done, and that just goes to show you what you're dealing with when making this stuff. So eventually I poured that back into the Pyrex cup. I have a oven safe glove that I use to carefully handle the hot Pyrex measuring cup. And since the majority of the ethanol has boiled down, what you really have to do now is do what I'm doing here, is stirring it, and you'll see bubbles pop up, and those bubbles mean that's the ethanol boiling off, whatever's left over in there. And you have to do this, which is tedious, every once in a while, because when it's boiling down, you'll have like a skin on the top surface of the solvent, which is the ethanol, and the skin will stop the alcohol from boiling off because it traps basically the bubbles underneath it, like a raft almost. So you got to stir it around, and that's basically what you do to eliminate the rest of the ethanol. So here you can see we're getting down to the very nitty-gritty here. Very to nil bubbles going on, and which is a good sign. That means all the ethanol is gone. You can see that there. There's not really bubbles sitting around in different areas. That means the majority, 99.9%, is gone. And you'll see some like tiny little micro bubbles here and there, but nothing like that's going to hurt you whatsoever. So pretty hard to do while filming with the temperature probe and camera in one hand. But I'm just going around the bottom of trying to go around the bottom of the glass jar to give you a reading. But here, guys, we're ready for the pour. So basically, we are completed on our pour or our cooking off of the ethanol, and this is what it should look like coming out. It's not as runny. It's thick. It still runs fairly smooth here, as you can see. And I'm just filling up this tiny little jam jar with the medicine, the RSO, and just put it aside carefully, let it cool off, and you can store it in your fridge or wherever after the fact. But you can see it's real thick, and all that ethanol is removed from that, so it's now safe to consume. And you don't need to consume very much of this stuff at all, because it's very potent. It's a pound concentrate of high THC indica. And so you guys remember how we cleaned and recovered medicine before in our earlier segment of this series of videos. So what I'm going to do is place that measuring cup back on there, and you can see there's still remnants of medicine in there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bust out the next method in this series, and this is how to recover the leftovers in your glass Pyrex. And we kind of went over it before in earlier videos, same methods, and we'll show you that here coming up in the next series of videos. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys on the next one. See all my live daily content, become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you. Alrighty guys, so we're back. Like I was saying, the Dems are really going to have to steal this next one as well, midterms and election. And the reason is if the Republicans get in and they get some balls and actually go full balls to the wall with these people, a lot of people going to prison, a lot of people are going to be fired, a lot of investigations are going to be opened up, and it's going to look good, really good. However, the Dems' main goal right now is to steal the midterms. Luckily, a lot of states have put in new measures to stop the mail-in ballots and the drop boxes and the complete and utter BS which got us into this mess. You know, like stopping the election on the night of the election to count mysteriously sent in votes from random people through drop boxes and mailboxes at 3 a.m. the next day. If you remember that night, when they did close the polls, Trump was leading in most states and basically had won at that point. But they couldn't let him in, and the reason is none of this shit would have went on if he got in. He wouldn't have been for all these closures and mandates and all that. He would have fired these fucking people and put his own people in to take over. And that's what should have happened. But instead, the Dems stole it, got in, we got a hell of a mess. They went on a spending spree with money they don't have and had to borrow. So now inflation is off the charts, highest it's ever been in 30 years, they say. Prices of everything, highest since the 90s, they said, inflation-wise. And they're only going to get worse. So guys, under the Democrats, remember this. And here in Canada as well, remember that your wages have gone down. When inflation happens, that means you get less for your money. Your wages have gone down permanently until we get some people in that know what the hell they're doing. And it's a sad state of affairs, but it is what it is. It's pretty sick. Hopefully, some people start kicking ass in Congress and stop this playing along to get along shit, because it's ridiculous. So, we'll see what happens. But inflation's only going to get worse for now, guys. So prepare the best way you can. And, you know, your money's not going to go as far as it can or could have under Trump. That's for goddamn sure. Because we, before all this, guys, greatest economy ever and self-sufficient on oil. Means everything was working wonderfully, like a well-oiled machine. And then the Dems are like, oh shit, he's doing too good, we'll never beat him unless we pull out you know, this project we got going on overseas. Let's just release this thing, make a boatload of money on this medication, which isn't really a vaccine. They actually had to change the definition of the vaccines definitions for this, which is hilarious. See you in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, bringing you another video in my video series of making the medicine. And here we have my leftover container of what we made the medicine in, and you can still see some medicine in there. So what we're going to do is recover that medicine and use up everything we possibly can. So we're going to leave that boiling on a nice simmer, and then I'm going to pull out the magic ingredient that you should have on hand, organic coconut oil. And just like my earlier segment videos, how to recover your medicine and clean your containers at the same time, we're going to drop that bad boy right in there. Just drop some coconut oil in, it will liquefy, it'll start to infuse with the medicine in the container, and it's a carrier oil, so the two oils will combine and make it a lot easier to recover your medicine and recover more medicine. And that's the main goal, and you're cleaning your containers at the same time, basically, which is nice. So I'm basically at the bottom of the barrel of my coconut oil container, and I'm gonna have to run to the store sometime to get some more, but I have enough to finish this in this video, so that's a bonus. Alrighty guys, so the organic coconut oil has liquefied, and I have been carefully squishing it around in the container, and now I'm going to transfer it into these smaller plastic containers. So you can see it's turned quite the dark color here as it infused with the Rick Simpson oil and the coconut oil. And look at all the medicine you're going to get out of doing this step. That's why it's very important to have organic coconut oil on hand, because if you didn't have any and you let stuff cool down, it'd be quite a mess after the fact. Alrighty guys, so you can see I still have leftovers going on in there. So I do have my little spare coconut oil container that I'm going to throw some more in to get as much out as possible, and obviously swirling it around as I go. So there we go, I added a little bit more. It's already liquefied, we're swirling around, we've got some more containers to fill up, and you know, you try to get as much out of your glass container as possible. You're not going to get everything, but you're going to get damn close pretty much, and that way you're not wasting any of that awesome medicine. So we got 3 more out of that batch. It's high test, high potent coconut oil because it has the RSO mixed in it. You can eat it, or you can put it on your skin as a rub, which a lot of people like doing instead of eating it because the taste is not that great, just to warn you. And here we go guys, this is the final product. So in the small jam jar in the middle there, right here, is the main RSO concentrate. It's pure RSO, no coconut oil, and the rest is 10 containers of a mixture of high potent RSO with coconut oil. So that's out of 1 pound of high THC indica, and it's a long process. It's a tedious process, but the medicine is very powerful, very beneficial for healing all kinds of problems in the human body and in pets, believe it or not. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and there you go. More cleaning needed. See all my live daily content. Become a Patreon member. Click on the link on my YouTube channel at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Click on support this channel. It'll take you to the Off-Grid Tiny House page on Patreon, or you can just Google it. Sign up and join in. Thank you.